Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at installing the Curt trailer wiring harness on a 2022 Subaru Forester. Now this wiring harness is going to be crucial and actually required when towing a trailer, and that's because it's going to give you the lighting functions of running lights, turn signals, as well as your brake lights, and that way when people are behind you, they know what you're doing, and that's going to indicate it to the trailer. Now this is module protected, meaning that it is going to be safe for you to use even if there's a back feed on the trailer. It's not going to harm any of the wiring on your factory taillights or anything like that. It also has a fuse for added protection. Now installing it is super easy. You're actually able to just plug it in, mount it up, put a ground screw in and the fuse, and then you're ready to go. So within about 15 minutes you can have your trailer wiring done. And I'm going to walk you through all of those steps and show you how to get it done. Now our installation is going to begin by opening the rear hatch. Now our plug is generally located right in this area on the Subarus, and they're pretty easy to get to. We have this little piece here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get our Scuff panel up and then pull on this plastic out, and that way we can get to our plug. So to get the Scuff panel out might be a little bit easier. We'll take this center section here where our spare tire is out, and then you're just going to kind of work your way along the edge here, and it should pop out pretty easily. There's going to be some clips, but as you work your way towards that edge, that should pop out. Now I'm not going to need to take this whole thing off, but you can just to kind of give yourself a little bit more room to work in. Now there's two plastic plugs here where we have our little jack handle, so we're going to go ahead and just pry these up. I'm using a trim panel tool. You can also probably use a flathead screwdriver, just kind of work it around a little bit and it should pop out like that. There we go. So now this kind of moves out of the way, and I'm just going to reach under here, and we see a little plug that has some pink tape on it. So I'm going to go ahead, we'll get this tape pulled off, and this is where we're going to be plugging in our module. So let's go ahead and grab that and get it plugged in. So as you can see, this is going to match up to our OEM plug. We're just going to peel this back and get this tape off here so it'll snap in place, and then we'll just make our connection. Nice snap there. And then I'm going to just unravel this and see what else we have. We have our module with our 4-pull, but we're also going to need to attach our ring terminal here to a ground, and this is just going to give us the ground for the system. So you can use the self-tapping screw included in the kit to mount this up. I'm going to look for a factory ground and see if we're in luck. If not, that's okay. We can mount this up, and then we just have our fuse. So let's go ahead and see if we can't find a spot for this. So I wasn't able to find a factory ground to use, but that's okay. With the self-tapping screw, I'm going to just route it over here, and that way it's going to kind of keep everything tucked nice and clean. And we'll just get this into the metal and just make sure there's nothing behind it. Mine seems to be clear behind there, so we'll just get this zipped in. You don't have to get too tight here, just enough to where that ring terminal is not going to spin around. And then what we're going to do is grab our fuse that's included in the kit, and we'll place it in our fuse holder. And then you can go ahead, take the cap this up. Now we need to mount all of this up, and this comes with a double-sided tape, and that way there's nice flat surfaces here that you can mount up. The main thing is it's going to be protected in here, but you don't want this rattling around as you drive, so kind of getting all of this bundled up nice and clean and in a place that's going to be tucked away is going to be what we're looking for. So I'll go ahead and get this mounted up and zip tied, and then we'll have our 4-pull. This is just going to live in the vehicle, and whenever we need to use it, we'll be able to drape it over. But let's get this all clean, tucked away, and then we'll be good. We can get ready to put our stuff back in place, but before we do that, we're going to want to test to make sure that it's working, and then we can get everything back. So the way I'm going to be doing that is using a 4-pull tester, and we have those available here at eTrailer. The other way that you can do it is hook up to your trailer and just run through the light sequence just to make sure that it's transmitting through the trailer. So now running through the light sequence, we'll start off with our running lights. Next we'll do our left turn signal, our right turn signal, and then finally the brakes. So now that we know everything's working properly, the only thing we have to do is put put the rest of our interior back in place in the reverse order that we took it out. And then when we're not using this, this can store over in this cubby once we have it in place. And it's kind of nice because when wiring lives inside the vehicle, it generally stays a lot cleaner. Your connectors aren't going to be caked up with road grime, and then whenever you do need to use it, it's pretty easy. We're just going to drape this over this weather stripping, and once we close the hatch, it still has enough give where it's not going to damage the wires. Just make sure to stay away from the latch, but you'll be able to hook up to your trailer and get all of your lighting functions. And that was a look and installation of the Curt trailer wiring harness on a 2022 Subaru Forester.